Soft power is quite important to my current research on Iran, because what I'm interested in is how ideas translate into foreign policy. So in the broadest sense, I'm quite interested in how ideas that have their genesis in the academic realm, for example, that's theoretical ideas like soft power, how they are then articulated in actual kind of policy discourses, so how they actually translate into actual concrete foreign policy actions. And in the case of soft power, often kind of cultural diplomacy type things. With Iran specifically, what really drew me to soft power as a useful kind of way of explaining elements of its foreign policy was that there's strong kind of identity currents that are articulated within Iranian foreign policy. So I wanted to look at how these different currents, be they kind of referring to Iran's civilizational grandeur and inheritance, how that's articulated through cultural diplomacy, for example, and on the other hand, how perhaps more kind of Islamic reference points are kind of referred to as well by different sectors within Iranian politics. And that tells us something also about the kind of dualism that exists within the Iranian political structure as well, where you have a kind of elected president that has a quite itinerant role that does a lot of the kind of public diplomacy on the world stage. And then you have the supreme leader, the supreme religious leader in Iran, who also has control over a lot of the levers of Iran's soft power as well, so the kind of cultural institutes. He directly appoints the cultural attaches that work in the embassies abroad and things like that. So, it's kind of a way of demonstrating the different centres of power in Iranian politics as well. Well, the future of soft power, I think, in relation to Iran, what we've seen up until now is a combination of kind of cultural diplomacy initiatives, but we've also seen this kind of defensive element come in. So this is in response to a perceived cultural penetration or cultural imperialism from the West. So this notion of soft war has been in the Iranian political discourse for a while now, certainly since Ahmadinejad, and still pervades a lot of the Iranian political discourse. And soft power is often used in this way as a way of kind of acting as a kind of we'll use our own kind of cultural strength to act as a bulwark against this kind of creeping Western imperialism. So I think that will certainly continue with Iran, although things have changed because Iran is now beginning to come in from the cold because of the nuclear deal. So we might see some more kind of constructive elements of soft power come to the fore with Iran as well. In terms of wider debates around soft power, I think the kind of new media ecologies, social media and things like that, I think are going to be increasingly important as a sort of channel for soft power. And also I think some of the stuff about sort of soft war and cyber warfare and things like that, I think will also form part of the soft power discourse as well. But where I see it going as well, I think is a lot of stuff to do with narrative, how things are projected and how soft power is relevant to a state's narrative. So I think that's going to be quite an important area, quite a fertile area for people to do empirical test cases, in the future as well.